Hello everyone, welcome to Road Reviews Live. I'm Chase Lee and I'm here to cover another selection from the Dallas International Film Festival, and that would be Alice in Marialand. This is my 8th film of the festival, and dear God, I am tired, but I'm going to do this for you guys because I love you all. So Alice in Marialand and is from Mexico. It is all in Spanish. It's got English subtitles, so don't worry, you can read it. They're not going to just leave you out in the cold, and you're not going to just not know what they're talking about, because then I would have been sitting there not knowing what they're talking about. So, Alice in Marialand, here's what it states. The violent love-hate triangle among I have always forgot his name. The guy, Maria, Alicia, develops through fantasies and flashbacks that intermix organically due to the directorial style and the riveting performances of the protagonist. You guys hear that? That is a plane. I live near an airport. The inherent surrealism of the narrative only accentuates the hard truths of reality and human emotions that it reflects. Ultimately, audiences will be traveling to Marialand not to be disappointed by the lyrical, wondrous, and challenging ride. That's basically it for Alice in Marialand. And since I am doing this live, you guys can comment that place rub on my face, and you can ask me questions about this movie, which is really funny because after I got out of this movie, I was so intrigued to talk about it. I was so riveted by what I just saw. I wanted to talk about it with someone else, and I wanted to hear people's theories online. No one has done a review for this movie. Okay, so I'm basically just like, I'm talking to myself, just pitching out different theories. So yeah, that's what the book says, but that doesn't really describe it that well. So what I did was I screenshot the actual synopsis that someone wrote on a website. That's just basically describing how you're going to feel. I want to tell you guys what the actual movie's about. Okay. So the guy is a 33-year-old writer with a melancholy demeanor, lives in a tempestuous relationship with a beautiful model named Maria. One day, Maria dies in a car accident, and he ends up in the hospital with no hope for recovery. While in a coma, his mind reconstructs details of the relationship with his girlfriend. At the same time, in brief moments of lucidity, he sees Alicia, a very attractive nurse. He incorporates Alicia into his memory, which helps him come out of the coma and leave the hospital. A year later, they meet up and engage in a relationship that becomes similar to that of when he went out with Maria, basically. This time, though, passion on the verge of violence is too much, and he decides to end the affair in a manner that is unconventional but very effective. It's a thriller, and it's from Mexico. And I gotta tell you, this is my favorite narrative feature of the Dallas International Film Festival so far. Okay, first of all, there's many people that walked out of this movie. Why? It's non-linear storytelling. I think the director, whose name I'm going to really pronounce poorly, Jesus Mengena Vasquez. I probably messed it up, but anyways, he creates this really like surreal dream and nightmare that I felt like I was in a trance the entire time. Listen, it's like the 5th day of the festival. I'm like super tired, so I'm kind of like, kind of drowsy, hallucinating. I was drawn into this world, and I felt like I was hallucinating. That's how kind of weird and trippy this movie is, and it's about, loving people and, letting go other people that you used to love and stuff, and that stuff is hard. But the thing about this movie is that without spoiling anything, like what I just read to you synopsis-wise, I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. It's like Tontowith or whatever. Him and Maria have this relationship. It's very rocky. They get in a car accident. He's in a coma. While he's slipping in and out of the coma, he sees this nurse named Alicia. So he actually will incorporate Alicia, since he saw her face, into his dreams while he's in a coma with in place of Maria. I'm not going to tell you where the story goes. I'm not going to tell you how the story ends. But from what I gathered is that I think this whole movie was a dream. I seriously do. I think it was like watching someone in a coma, someone dreaming up of all of this and stuff. And it kind of makes you think. And what it reminded me of was like a Spanish version of David Lynch, which is awesome because I love the Lynch man. So I was kind of riveted and taken back by this movie because I've seen so many movies at this festival so far to where Jesus Vasquez or whatever, he creates this nonlinear story. He jumbles everything up, but he doesn't spoon feed you. Like, he makes you want to think as an audience member. He makes you want to feel these feels, and he just makes you want to be invested. Because I think that's more interesting when it's out of order, because it causes you to pay attention. Like I said, a lot of people walked out, which I was like, come on, give the movie a chance. Like, they work hard on this thing. Like, they just want you to watch this, and you're getting up and walking out. I'll never understand that. I mean, but if it's a movie like, I don't know, like a mainstream movie like Scary Movie 5 or something, or date movie or epic movie, then you can walk out. It's okay. No one's going to judge you. But anyways, back to this movie. So it's basically like this weird love triangle, but it's told from the point of a coma and dreams. And at some point, he wakes up from the coma. I don't think he does. I seriously think he's in that coma throughout the entire movie, from when he's at the start of the movie, when he's actually in the coma. I believe it's. I'm solely convinced that it's a dream, because this movie is like, it's set up like in fractions of like this guy's life, kind of like what dreams are. Like, they're just kind of like snippets of certain things, and they're just kind of all strung together, and we have no idea what it means. It can mean anything. So without spoiling anything, like, that's what I think about the directing. It's like a surreal nightmare, and I was just so entranced in it, because I wanted to see how this was all going to piece together. It was like figuring out a really cool riddle or something. So the directing is off the charts on this one. It's very creative. It's very innovative. And it was just something really fresh at the festival. I think that's why I gravitated towards it the most. So yeah, it reminds me of like Mulholland Drive from David Lynch. It was like this really trippy, like, dream nightmare type of feel, where like you don't know like what's real and what's not. And like, I love those movies that make you question that on fantasy and reality. So the directing is so super strong in this movie. The acting is really good. I really liked, the guy was really good. I liked both of the women. Maria was she was good, but she wasn't like the star. I think the star was the actress that played Alicia, and I think she did a fantastic job, because at some point in the movie she has amnesia and stuff, and she portrays that very well versus what she was like at the beginning and stuff. So it's a very good switch on her character, and I really enjoyed that progression. And as far as the guy goes, he does a really good job. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again: foreign films kick our films' asses sometimes. Being in the U.S., we don't get that many gems. Like, we'll get a handful of gems every year, but mainly foreign films, man, they're A-okay. So the acting is all around strong in this one. There's not a weak performance in this movie. I will say that some of the dialogue is kind of cheesy, and that's probably one of the only reasons why I'm going to dock this movie. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. But like, just some of the lines that were coming out of the actors' mouths, I was like, did they really write that? It sounds pretty bad. So the writing is a little cheesy, but I'm going to let that slide because I love the premise and the way the story was told. Cinematography, it's really beautiful. Like I said, it feels like a nightmare at sometimes. It feels like a dream sometimes. There's some glows around the frame. There's some black and white imagery. There's just really colorful, poppy scenes. And I felt, like I said, I felt like I was in this weird dreamscape, and cinematography is just beautiful to look at. There's a couple visual effects shots that are green screen, and they could have been a little better, but like I said, it's just nitpicky at this point. Editing wise, this movie I think is like, let me check for you since this is live and I have no shame in looking at this. This movie is 86 minutes. Holy crap! I thought it was longer. So it's not even an hour and a half long, and it flies by. It's one of the quickest movies I've seen at the festival so far, just because I was so engaged and I was just wondering where these characters were going to end up. And like, when the movie's done, like, the movie's told, like, in the synopsis, like I told you, it's told very straightforward. But I don't think it's that straightforward. I think there's more to it. But then again, I could just be going crazy and whatnot. But I think this is a very thought-provoking movie on like what's real and what's fantasy. So I really enjoyed it a hell of a lot. If you guys can find this movie, Alice or Marialand, I would highly suggest you see it. Like I said, I compare it to like Mulholland Drive's from David Lynch. So, but that's just me though. Maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just going crazy because I've seen so many movies at the festival so far. So I think overall I'm going to give it. I enjoyed it that much. I think regarding the cheesy dialogue and kind of outdated special effects, I think I'm going to go. Oh, man. I think I'll go 9 out of 10. I think I enjoyed it that much to where like it's one of the highest rated ones I'll rate at the festival so far. So 9 out of 10 for Alice in Marialand. I really enjoyed it, and it's really thought-provoking. But no one's reviewed this online yet, so I don't know anyone's theories on it and stuff. So I'm alone on this one, guys. So have you seen Alice in Marialand? Obviously not. But if you have, or if you even heard of it, comment that place below my face and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching my reviews live. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next, which will be more from the Dallas International Film Festival. Let me go ahead and play my outro music. I'll see you guys later. And this is what happens when you do it live.
Important security message.